company already has 510K clearance in the US for selling your medical device. But now you want to expand to Europe and you don't have anything translated into other languages, just English. So what do? Translating using Google Translator is not the right solution. You need a translation procedure and you need to qualify a translation provider to help you with this. You also need to figure out which documents need translation and which ones don't. So the first step is to create a procedure. We've already created one for you that you can purchase. If you're interested in purchasing it, this video will give you an idea of what's in it and what you're getting for your money. If you want to do it yourself, it'll give you some ideas for writing your own procedure. Here we go. I'm going to first show you the procedure. Then I'll show you a couple of the forms that are associated. So if we go to the top of this procedure, this is our translation procedure, SYS-052. Matthew Walker is the author of it. When you purchase this procedure, you'd replace the logo. You put in your own name here as the author. You delete the draft number. We keep track of all our revisions with a draft number. So this is our first draft of this brand new procedure. We wrote this in preparation for an audit of one of our own customers that is a translation provider, and they're certified to ISO 17100. So if you're looking for how can we pick between all the different companies out there that offer translation services, picking a supplier that is certified to ISO 17100 gives you a big advantage, because now you know that's a company that has a formal certified process for giving you quotations for the translation process, as well as a certified process for qualifying the translators that are actually going to do the work and everything that goes along with that production process. So in this procedure, we've color-coded all the references to ISO 17100 in orange as a color coding mechanism. And then we've also included the @ symbol for anybody that's colorblind. For ISO 1345, the color coding is blue with an exclamation point for the symbol to be used. We've identified what the input and output procedures are and the forms. You would put your author, whoever the author is in your company, for the revision history as well. You would change the titles of roles and responsibilities for each of these functions to be the titles that you use in your company. And then in the procedure that references the two forms that Matthew created, one is a regulatory document translation checklist, and the other one is the supplier questionnaire for translation providers. Then it gets into the guts of the actual procedure. There's a general section. There's FDA notes on what documents may require translation for any labels or instruction for use that are going to be used in Puerto Rico, where the predominant language is going to be Spanish instead of English. And then resource requirements. And then pre-production process activities and a flow chart for that. And then production processes and a flow chart for that. And post-production with a process flow for that. We also have monitoring and measuring section in all of our procedures. So this tells you what you'd be monitoring and measuring for the translation process. You have training and retraining requirements. So you'd modify titles once again to match the titles in your organization. We include a risk management section showing that we have a risk-based process for all of our procedures, and it explains what kind of controls we're recommending to put in place to make sure that the translation process is managed well. And then finally, we have the records, any quality system records that are required for translation. Now I'm going to go to the actual records that are specific to this procedure, Form 54 and Form 55. So I'll stop sharing that and share the regulatory checklist first. Here's the regulatory checklist. This is Form 55. Excuse me. And this is split up basically by country. The first section is about the regulatory documents that are required to be translated for the EU. So it goes through some of those documents that need to be, or all those documents that need to be changed. Then we have the regulatory documents that need to be changed for IVDs, for the IVDR. Then we go through the Canadian documents that require translation for Health Canada. So that's everything that's included in that regulatory checklist. And now we will show the last document. That's a supplier questionnaire. And this is the document you would use to review and approve a new supplier for translation services. And to summarize it, when all things are created equal, pick a vendor that's already certified to ISO 17100 instead of one that's not. But things you might be considering, we've included those in general, so the supplier would indicate what their answers are. Do they have that? Or provide some additional information for each of the categories that we're asking about, what languages they provide, how many years they've been providing it, ISO certification, primary contact information, that sort of thing, resources that they have, pre-production process activities that they perform before they start the translation, production process for the actual translation, and then post-production to address complaints and based on feedback from people that are actually reading the translated documents. And then we have additional notes at the very end, including an approval of the supplier. So that's what's included in our translation procedure that we've provided. It's SYS-052. If you're interested in purchasing it, this video shows you exactly what you're going to get. If you purchase this procedure, you get the form, the procedure SYS-052 and forms 54 and 55. And if you want to create your own, that'll give you some ideas as to what to include in your own. I hope that was helpful, and let us know if you have any other suggestions for improvements to our procedures. Talk to you later.